Chernobyl, 1986, the last days before catastrophe. You stand before the sarcophagus. A concrete colossus looms over you like a tombstone for an entire era. Wind drives dust through the deserted streets of Pripyat. Silence. Dead, absolute silence. But before you, shimmering gates of time. They pulse with bluish light, as if inviting you to step back. You take a step, another. The sarcophagus begins to dissolve. Cracks in the asphalt seal themselves. Rust disappears. Trees that broke through concrete retreat back into the earth. And suddenly, sound. Children's laughter. Music from windows. The rumble of buses. You're in Pripyat. April 25th, 1986. One day before the world changes forever. Did you know that people danced in the streets while lethal doses of radiation already filled the air? Chernobyl, a city that became a symbol. But we're not talking about the city. We're talking about Pripyat, the perfect Soviet city of the future. 49,000 residents, average age 26 years. A city of young specialists, engineers, nuclear physicists. A city built to service the greatest technological achievement of the USSR. The Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Here were the best salaries in the region. Brand new apartments with central heating. The energetic palace of culture. The Azure swimming pool. An amusement park scheduled to open on May 1st. Luxury? For some, yes. But behind this facade lurked another truth. The truth about what happens when technology outpaces safety. When ambition trumps caution. When secrecy kills. April 25th, 1986. Saturday. An ordinary day. The last ordinary day. In a few hours, an experiment will begin that no one will stop. Lenin Avenue, the city's artery. We walk down the main street. Fresh asphalt, young trees. The city is only 16 years old. 5-story buildings on the right, 9-story buildings on the left, all standard issue but well-maintained. Balconies draped with flowers. Alla Pugachova's voice pours from the windows. _quote _0 people return from work. Women in coats and headscarves. Men in jackets carrying shopping bags. Children race bicycles between parked Ladas and Moskviches. It smells of spring, melting snow, and gasoline. See that woman with the stroller? She doesn't know that in a day she'll be running from here, leaving almost everything behind. See those teenagers by the ocean store? They're laughing, making plans for the May holidays. They don't know they'll never return here. Today, in 2026, Lenin Avenue is a corridor between overgrown buildings. Trees have pierced through windows, asphalt torn apart by roots. Silence. But if you close your eyes, you can hear the echo of that laughter. The Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Pride and curse. 3 kilometers from the city, the station. 4 power units, 2 under construction. Massive, industrial, futuristic. Cooling towers release steam into the sky. At night, the station glows like a spaceship. The best work here, or so they think. Engineers with degrees from NEPHI, operators controlling the atom. Their salaries 2 to 3 times above average. Their apartments better. Their children study in the best schools. But there's another side. Shortage of spare parts, cut budgets for safety, design flaws in the RBMK reactor that no one talks about. A culture where you can't doubt, can't criticize, can't stop the plan. This evening, April 25th, the duty shift at the 4th power unit prepares for an experiment, testing the safety system. On paper, everything looks simple. In practice, no one conducted a full risk analysis. Shift Supervisor Alexander Akimov, Senior Reactor Control Engineer Leonid Toptanov. They're following orders. They believe in the system. In a few hours, they'll receive lethal doses of radiation, trying to stop what can no longer be stopped. Today, the 4th power unit is covered by a sarcophagus. New, enormous, designed to last 100 years. Inside, reactor ruins. Outside, warning signs. And absolute, oppressive silence. The energetic Palace of Culture, heart of the city. Saturday evening. The Palace of Culture is full. A brass band rehearses here. The cinema shows Pirates of the 20th Century. In the dance hall, youth under disco lights, dimmed lights, loud music. air saturated with cheap cologne and cigarette smoke. Girls in bell-bottom jeans and bright lipstick. Guys in untucked shirts. They dance to Boney M and Modern Talking, which aren't officially sold, but everyone has on reel-to-reel tapes. Beyond the palace walls, library, clubs, studios, the city lives a rich cultural life. Movies show here before Kiev. They invite artists from the capital. Luxury? For the provinces, yes. But it's luxury on a volcano. Luxury built on the atom. Luxury that will end in one night. Now the Palace of Culture is a dead building. Roof collapsed. Walls cracked. On the stage where the orchestra once played, ceiling debris lies scattered. Theater seats rotted away. But walking through the corridors in half-light, you can see posters. May 1st celebration concert, a concert that never happened. The amusement park, symbol of an unfulfilled future. Pripyat outskirts, brand new amusement park. Yellow gondolas on the Ferris wheel, red bumper cars, green swings, everything ready for the May 1st opening. Workers apply finishing touches, check mechanisms. Tomorrow will be a celebration. Children passing by the fence peek inside with impatience. Mom, when will it open? Soon, soon. Soon will never come. This Ferris wheel will never make a single rotation with passengers. These bumper cars will never hear children's squeals. These swings will never soar into the air. On May 1st, the park won't open. The city will already be dead. Today, the park is Chernobyl's most recognizable symbol. A rusty wheel against empty buildings. Decaying attractions swallowed by forest. Millions of photographs. Millions of tourists. Symbol of an unfulfilled future. Symbol of stolen childhood. Residence apartments. Life behind closed doors. Let's look inside an ordinary apartment on the 5th floor. 2 rooms. The Ignatenko family. Vasily, a firefighter. Fyudmila, his wife, pregnant. They're young, both 25. They're happy. In the apartment, standard Soviet furniture. A wall unit with books and crystal. Carpet on the wall. A Rubin television. In the kitchen, an enamel pot on the stove. Smell of borscht. Lyudmila waits for her husband from his shift. Vasily will return home late at night. He'll be among the first to rush to the station to fight the fire. He'll enter the reactor inferno without protection because no one told him it was radiation. He'll receive a dose of 1,600 Röntgens. In 2 weeks, he'll die in a Moscow hospital. Lyudmila will be by his side, despite doctors' prohibitions. She'll give birth to a daughter who will live 4 hours. Her body absorbed all her mother's radiation. Today, this apartment is an empty shell with a collapsed floor. Wallpaper peeled away, books rotted, carpet gone. But on the floor, in the dust, sometimes people find photographs. Family photos, happy ones, from another life. April 26, 1986, 12344 4th Power Unit. The experiment isn't going according to plan. Reactor power drops too sharply. Automation tries to shut down the reactor. Operators disable the automation. Must complete the test program. Leonid Toptanov looks at the control panel. Readings are alarming. He's young, 26. He has doubts. But senior experienced people are nearby. They say continue. 12340. Someone presses the emergency shutdown button. Too late. 12344. Explosion. Not nuclear, steam, but of monstrous force. The reactor lid weighing 1,000 tons is thrown into the air and falls vertically, piercing the active zone. Second explosion. The power unit roof destroyed. Graphite rods fly out like projectiles. They fall on the machine hall roof and ignite. Inside the reactor, hell. Temperature 2,000 degrees. Exposed nuclear fuel. Radiation incompatible with life. Vasily Ignatenko and his fellow firefighters arrive within minutes. They see fire, an ordinary fire, they think. They climb onto the roof. With bare hands, they throw aside chunks of graphite to lay hoses. Graphite burns their palms. Strange, they think. They don't know they're holding death in their hands. By morning, the fire is contained at the cost of 28 lives. But this is only the beginning. Authorities remain silent. The city isn't evacuated. April 26th, an ordinary day. Children go to school. People to work. Weddings are celebrated. Newlyweds photograph themselves against the backdrop of the station, where smoke rises from the destroyed unit. In the air, iodine 131. Cesium-137, strontium-90, invisible killers. Dosimeters go off the scale. But people aren't told. Does evacuation begin? _quote _0 they tell people. _quote _1 1,200 buses. A column several kilometers long. 49,000 people leave the city in 3 hours. They're leaving forever. In the following months, 600,000 liquidators will work in the zone, dropping sand and lead from helicopters into the reactor's maw, shooting domestic animals, burying equipment, building the sarcophagus. Many of them will receive lethal doses. 30-kilometer exclusion zone, 2,600 square kilometers, hundreds of villages demolished, forests buried, land contaminated for centuries. Today, the sarcophagus over the 4th unit is a monument. Monument to hubris. Monument to mistakes. Monument to those who paid with their lives for others' miscalculations. Chernobyl isn't just a catastrophe. It's a mirror in which the Soviet Union saw its cracks. Culture of secrecy, fear of admitting mistakes, priority of the plan over common sense. For 2 weeks, authorities hid the truth until the radioactive cloud reached Sweden and the world found out. But Chernobyl is also a mirror of human courage. Firefighters who went into the flames, helicopter pilots who flew over the boiling reactor, liquidators who worked 90 seconds on the power unit roof, no longer lethal dose, miners who dug a tunnel under the reactor in hellish heat, doctors who received the irradiated, knowing they themselves were at risk. Pripyat never revived. Ghost city, museum city, warning city. But its legacy lives on, in new nuclear safety standards, in a culture of openness, in memory that technology without responsibility is a weapon aimed at ourselves. And every time the world builds a new nuclear power plant, Chernobyl's voices whisper, remember, remember us. We've passed through the gates of time. We saw Pripyat alive. We saw how it died. And now a question for you. Which city and which era should we explore next? Pompeii before the eruption? Hiroshima before the bomb? Berlin on the night the wall fell? Write in the comments. Like if you want to see more. Subscribe to travel through time with us. Thanks for watching. And as always, we'll see you in the past.